Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Command Center, where we like to put our favorite commander, maybe even yours, front and center. And you know we can't do that unless we play those three, sometimes disappointing letters, EDH. What does it stand for today, Hado Cam?
Every disappointing hero. That's right. Sometimes our commanders fail this city. We try to build a commander deck that's going to be amazing, new, out the box, but the commander just doesn't work. So we're going to go through the list of commanders that we've tried to build, but they've, in some one way or another, just didn't measure up. You know, they've sucked in some instance. Like the heroes that disappoint you, like Plastic Man or Hawkeye. You know, any of the heroes that you put faith in that you like, why?
And as a disclaimer, clearly we are all expert deck builders, and this is in no way a statement of our inability to build them. These commanders have personal vendettas against us.
Oh yeah,
they would switch out cards when we weren't looking.
I'm be 1,000%. I suck as a deck builder. I normally build around a theme of being petty, and it just grows from there. I don't even try to win half the time.
I just put a bunch of shiny cards together. I don't really have cohesion's not my specialty.
Ken is like, what's the CMC on that? I like it.
It literally goes, will this piss you off? It goes in. And that's how my deck building goes. So let's go through
That explains so much.
Exactly. So let's go through the list of commanders that we've seen and have attempted to build and be like, nah, F that.
All right, so I'm going to do us all a service, and I think I'm going to let Derek go second. All right, so I'm going first.
You get me every time. I was like, every time I say it, I still fall for it.
I always feel that little glimmer of hope, and then I
like,
snatch it away, and
what?
I love it. All right, so the first one I'll talk about, I was really excited when this card came out because they did a reprinting for Zor the Enchanter, but this one is Zor Eternal Schemer. And I was like, okay, let's see what Zor the Schemer is doing. It flies just like the other one, so 1/4 just like the other one. Interacts with enchantments just like the other one, but this one says that your enchantment creatures you control have a Death Touch, Lifelink, Hexproof. I'm like, I'm loving this already. Then you pay one in a white. You can turn a non-aura enchantment into an enchantment creature for the rest of the game. I'm like, all of this sounds excellent. And then I started putting a deck together, and I'm like, why am I trying to just turn my enchantments into creatures? Why don't I just play creatures with Death Touch and Lifelink and Hexproof? Like, what? Okay, I play a powerful enchantment. Okay, cool, it's doing its thing. It's left alone because there's barely ever enchantment removal. Now I'm turning it into a creature so I can swing at you with it, so you can remove it, basically with a board wipe. I'm like, what am I really trying to do here?
So basically he was doing the most because all that was useless. It's like putting on a suit to go to Popeye's Chicken. You don't need to do that.
you can do it, but you don't have to.
I mean, you're going to get some fish and some sweet tea on it, but outside of that, all the usual.
Yeah, so I'm just like, why? What's the purpose of turning your enchantments into creatures?
The purpose is to waste your time and hours. Now, well, since you said that, I'm going to go ahead and let Derek go.
So honestly, my biggest problem with Zur is that it's the Eternal Schemer, and somehow you didn't. The art wasn't like Birdman, just rubbing the hands together pose. Because honestly, like I feel like that would have made the card.
It might be on one of
playable.
the 50 alternate versions of it. I don't know.
It's true. It could be an art that we just haven't. Okay.
I'm gonna get one altered with a cryptocurrency or NFT.
Eternal Schemer. Makes sense.
All right. So the first one I would talk about is a character that is near and dear to my heart, but just a deck that I can never get to do what I wanted it to, and that's Yogmothram Physician.
You talking about the super powerful, stupid, broken card?
Because I wanted to play this as like a regular, like casual deck. And every time I put this deck together, it either did nothing because I defanged it so much that like, oh, I don't have any creatures to sacrifice anymore. What am I supposed to do? Or anytime I tried to tweak it at all, it would just murder everyone so fast that it was miserable. I could never find an in-between for this card.
So basically, I don't know if you guys watch American Dad, but this is the Raider Dave syndrome. Basically, when Roger starts putting on stuff, eventually it turns into Raider Dave, which is the most destructive construct of his personalities. And that's what Yawgmoth is. You try to add a few things to it, and then Raider Dave.
Yeah, well, it was like I've not taken a math class in a long time, but like the asymptotes, where it's like that you approach.
That is not how any of that works.
Something about approaching, and then the lines and the curves go like crazy. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You approach 0 but never get there. It either does way too much or doesn't do enough. And I could never find my happy place. And for like, to this day, I will still put Yawgmoth lists together. And like, this is going to be the time. And it just never reaches that casual happy place.
As somebody who took multivariable calculus, I'm a bit offended by that statement.
As someone who can mostly spell the word math, I think I gave a good explanation there.
He was close. He was close enough with that Florida education. All right,
I
Ken,
went
take
to
us.
Florida public school. That doesn't count. Go.
So when Strixhaven came out, which was a blatant ripoff of She Who Shall Not Be Named. I saw these Elder Dragons and I was like, yes, because I love Darkins. One of my favorite decks are my Darkin decks. So I was like, oh yes, bring these dragons, bring them, and I will use them to their fullest ability. I will break them like Neo in The Matrix, or the fourth movie did the franchise. Anyway, so then I got the Belladros Witherbloom. And I was like, okay, this looks amazing. Everything on face value looks great until you realize it's a 7-drop commander that poops 1/1s. And I'm like, okay, this card sucks. No, I refuse. I'd rather use it as toilet paper than use it as a commander. As a matter of fact, while building this deck, I found better commanders out of my 99, and one of them was a common. So, with that being said, boo-boo to Prismari, especially the Prismari Dragon. You suck. You suck so hard. Why would I use you when Breya is right there commanding the elements?
Yeah, I think that Dina is one of the more popular black-green cards from Strixhaven. And is I think it's a common. And she's
way better than this trash card.
Yeah.
That's like when we ask, like, why is this a mythic?
Well, I feel like Belladros is like a really broken combo commander.
Yeah.
Or not even commander, but like a combo card in the 99. But I'm with you because there's so much text there. Like, I just want to be like that, and then it's just no, like, you're going to combo off or it's not going to do anything.
It's Tender Shoot Dryas with extra step. I said it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to my next one. So I tried this. I attempted this very recently, and I just cannot get this deck to stick. This is a Zevlore something exile. It's a Tiefling warrior, Grixis in a 1. So here's the ability in a nutshell. Pay 2, and when you cast your next instant or sorcery, you can copy it for each opponent that card can target. But it has to target a single permanent or a single player. And for each opponent or other targets you have, you can target those things. So it's a mouthful that basically says that the number of opponents I have, the more times I can copy this instant or sorcery. But again, it's a 4-drop commander. You have to pay 2 to activate the ability and also tap it. So you got to protect it. Then you have to cast it instant or sorcery. Then you have to have enough opponents for this to hit, to have a good payoff. Then you have to have a decent CMC of that instant or sorcery to make that payoff even relevant. It was just too much math, too much going on for this.
And then it's in Grixis, so you ain't even got the mana to do all that.
Right, you got to build your mana base up first. Okay, it has haste, but it also costs 6 just to get this out and also activate its own ability. So what is this spell, instant or sorcery, I'm going to cast after I pay 6 mana to get this going? Like, it was just way more work than I needed. I played a game where I didn't even cast it and I get better. It was like,
I think the first game you played against me with it, you played the Tiefling person and never once cast an instant sorcery.
Yeah, that was just the luck of the draw. But then I played another game where I didn't even cast him, and I did more work with the instant sorceries, just single targeting my opponents. And I was like, I'm not enjoying this. I can't work this. The math isn't mathing. Like it just wasn't working out. So if you have a better Zevlore deck out there that you're enjoying, let me know. Put in the comments so I can tell you you're wrong. I just plan. I'm gonna copy that list and I might try it myself. What you got, Derek?
This is one of my original, or one of the older commander decks I tried to build, and I tried to make this work for like a year and a half before I quit. And it's actually a partner pairing of Silas Ren and Akiri.
Okay.
So Silas Ren is the one that you can get artifacts back. Akiri wants a bunch of artifacts so that you can punch people with it. And I could never find the right ratio of what I wanted to do with this deck, because 4-color artifacts, you can do a million different things. And it was like, was I trying to go value with Silas Ren? Was I trying to make it like Voltron-y with Akiri? And every time I put this deck together, I felt like I would draw 2 different parts of the deck. And I could never commit, because every time I try to go full Voltron, I'd be like, but these cards that I love do this other thing. I want to at least sneak a few of these pet cards in. And it was just this never-ending circle of every time I went further into the artifact value, I'd find myself in a game where I really needed Akiri to get like big and punch. And then when I went full Voltron, I would end up in a situation where, they keep removing Akiri. Now I literally can't do anything, because it was just, it's one of the reasons why I like 1 or 2 color decks, because I feel like I can really focus in on one strategy and do interesting things within it. It was like 75 things going on at once, and literally for 2 years, I would play it, take it apart, play it, take it apart, and eventually I had to give up. And one day I might try it again, but it's just, my brain, I always have this rule for myself that I want to play commander decks that I can responsibly imbibe in fun liquids and play at the same time. I want to be able to sit back, like talk with my friends, kind of like BS and chill while I'm playing a deck, and this deck just did not cover that basis at all.
Well, with your hot take on math in general, I kind of get why multicolors is a problem for you. And you know, like the great poet Aaliyah once said, if at first you don't succeed, quit. All right. Moving on to my next pick. Now, this commander is called Your Lock of Scorch Trash.
Oh man, come on, don't do him like that.
I gotta do it dirty. I gotta do him dirty. You like Your Lock is the Waffle House of commanders. Like you think it's gonna be dirty, and it is. So Your Lock, it says it has vigilance. I don't know why, because I don't even want to cast it. So it says players losing unspent mana, causing that player to cause that player to use that much life.
So mana burn.
No, yeah, you're right. It's mana bomb. So basically, every time I've used this card and tap and given players mana. Oh, by the way, I have this instant in my head. Oh, thank you. I needed that much mana so I could do this. I just helped you out every time, and it's either they destroy your lock, so I gotta cast it again. They cast some amazing spell that they was one more mana shy of, and I gave them 3 like an idiot. Oh, I gave the blue player 3 more extra mana. Yeah, that's not gonna bite me in the ass. So yeah, this card is dumb. So whenever I see it, I do like every Waffle House I see and move right past it.
Okay, fair, all fair.
You know what? I take that back. It is in the sideboard of my commander deck. Do with that as you will.
All right, I'm gonna go to my next one. I had fun with your lock. Don't know if I won any games.
I just can't believe the Waffle House disrespect.
Waffle House is gross.
But I feel like that's part of the charm.
The charm is to be disgusted?
Kinda.
Well, you know, I might as well create a restaurant in the bathroom. We gonna do that. Also known as the Varsity.
Don't say that to
Y'all know that ain't milk in that milkshake.
Man, they said that the Varsity was closing after 60 years, and I was like, finally.
All I know is I'm sorry, I got to do this one time. I apologize. One time I went to the Varsity, and this was the first time I found religion because I needed every god that would listen to get the demon out of me that was brewing. Like, Yahweh, everybody. I needed the planeteers of gods to help me. Toilet paper was irrelevant that night.
You know what you use for toilet paper?
Socks.
Your lock.
Yeah. Well, not this because it might cut me on the way out.
All right. Let me go to my last one.
Okay.
So this was one of my first Elder Dragons to try to put together. I'm gonna move fast on this, but I try to get something going on this, but I just realized that I wasn't having the type of games that I wanted to play. And this is Dromar the Banisher. I like everything on this card except this card because whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you can pay 2 and a blue. If you do, you choose a color and you bounce all the creatures of that color back to the owner's hand. All right, it's a cute little board wipe, pseudo board wipe. Here's my biggest problem with it. Here's my first problem with it. This guy's in 3 colors. It's 75% of the time. 75% of the time, it's gonna be bouncing himself, and I don't need them kind of problems in my life. It already costs 6 mana.
I think it's 60% of the time.
Yeah, it's 60. I love the math at this table. Jesus Christ, what is going on here?
I said 75% of the time because all of you a-holes out there are playing black and blue more these days. But anyway. I'm just saying, I'm choosing a color, and it's going to probably end up bouncing himself. I've created a deck where I can actually play around this. There are cards where you can change permanent colors. You can play colorless creature decks. You can play those Eldrazi's with the void on them. Yeah. You can play artifact creatures. I've learned how to build this deck and play this deck. But if I got to play around my commander, I don't like that.
First of all, I'd like to give a shout out to the Atlanta public school system.
I
didn't go into math, so shut up.
I have seen this commander so many times and never processed the fact that it bounces itself. Because it's 3, like it's most of the time going to bounce itself.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you can work around colors. You can play those cards that says color change, but permanents or whatever. But like, I'm putting resources in my deck to fight my own commander, and I don't need them kind of problems in my life. So I'm gonna pass it off to Derek because I'm tired of talking about
I'm
Dromar.
gonna need wait, what comes down greener? I'm gonna need everybody to play Gruul. All right, just play Gruul, everybody.
If you're in an all Gruul pod, this is the best card ever.
Yeah, this is it.
All right, so the last one I want to talk about is going to be another powerful commander that I couldn't get to do what I wanted to, and it's Lord Windgrace. Mainly I wanted to play Lord Windgrace because they had that little secret layer one, and it looks just like my little cat Barkevius.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, little demon kitty. But the thing is, I wanted to find a way to not make a lands deck around it. Because it just like, I've seen plenty of Windgrace lands decks. I wanted to find something different to do.
You lying bastard.
I tried so many, like, going off full on. Like, the only thing that I found that pseudo interesting was doing like a reanimator deck with it because you have a discard outlet. And that was really and at that point, as I start doing it, I'm like, well, this is just a lot of extra steps. Then all of a sudden these land synergies like just don't mean anything.
Yeah.
And it was just, this is a commander I've had a tab pulled up for so long. And I just, one day I'm going to find a weird way to build this. But it seems like every time I try to build a deck, I look at the list and it's still 75% to use math. It's like 75% lands matters with like a little flavor. And I just can't get it to be, I can't find a unique take on it yet.
That comment made my butt hurt. Wow, a landsfall commander.
I want to do something weird with it.
Yeah, but he's basically saying that that's all the deck does though. It's a landfall.
That's what it's supposed to do. Y'all don't complain when Dragonfire decks do Dragonfire stuff.
I don't like landfall. So even my lands deck Titania doesn't. I don't think there's any landfall effects outside of the field of the deck.
Titania's not a landfall. It's a land removal.
But yeah, I wanted to find something weird to do with Windgrace that wasn't landfall.
That's like saying my Titania deck does stuff when lands leave, so I don't like that. I wanted to do something when enchantments leave.
All right, but one of the things I like about Commander is you can find a variety within some of these commanders. But every now and then you find those commanders that say, "I do this and only this." Those are some of the commanders I tend to stay away from. But not to say that Lord Windgrace is a bad commander.
Yeah, no, it's super powerful.
Yeah, it's a powerful commander, but it's just saying I have a hard time doing something else other than what you, the game designer, wants me to do.
That's what a commander is for.
But I think it's fun to pick a commander that says something and do something just weird with it, go a completely different direction.
I don't like the fact that Locust God creates tokens. I wanted to create trample creatures.
You did that with Locust God though. Your Locust God deck isn't wheels, it's mill.
Yeah,
that's unique.
Technically, my Locust Guard has like 5 win cons in it. Mill is just one of them.
You tend to lean on Mill.
But one day, I'm going to roll up with my little Barkevius Lord Windgrace and maybe have like a reanimator version or some other thing to do with lands. Maybe it's lands, but it's like built around Worm Harvest exclusively.
Animate lands or something.
Yeah, so it's like exactly, yeah.
There's actually a way that you can do this.
We'll talk about it off camera. Can't go.
All right. Now this one, 1,000% is my fault, and y'all gonna yell at me.
I remember this one.
Heavens,
I remember this one.
Which one you think I'm talking about?
The big one, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Which one are you talking about?
The one you got pulled up over there, right?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I remember this.
I have tried so hard and come so far, but it didn't even matter. Rashmi, the Eternity's Crafter. Rashmi is...
Kid loved that card when it came out.
Love this card. I think this card is amazing. I can't build it to save my life.
I've seen him cry over this deck because it just would not.
It will not cooperate. I have the right number of lands. I have the spells. This card will not get right for the life of me. And the thing is,
it's like he doesn't have enough badges to play this deck or something.
I don't have enough gym badges. It won't listen to me. It won't get right.
How? It feels like
even I was impressed.
That was the weird part. Like anybody else I see build a Rashmi deck, it goes off.
Yeah,
it goes off like nobody's business. Like, and I watched, I was like, that's amazing. I love to play free stuff from the top of my card. But every time I play this card, and I have a foil version, and it's immaculate. And every time it hits the battlefield, it sits there and looks at me disappointed. Like I failed math class.
It gets removed before he even gets to do what he wants to do. Like it's amazing to see, actually.
Like it looks at me disappointed, like he saw me eating at a Fuddruckers.
That's a throwback. I've not heard of that.
Fuddruckers still exists.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I felt sadness when I drove past it. I was like, God damn, he is a popping nose right there. Anyway, but yeah, like I said again, Rashmi, that's all me 1,000%. I've really tried, but it just don't want to listen.
Yeah. So these are some of the examples of some possibly good commanders that we just either we're trying to do something else with it or we build it to the T and we just don't enjoy it, like it, or like what it's telling us to do. So if you have some commanders that you feel like you just feel that way about, let us know in the comments, or even let us know if you have better versions of these specific commanders.
Yeah, please put them at the bottom so we can do better.
Send him a Rush Me list. I feel like that's just he needs the help.
But yeah, we're definitely going to take a peek at your list and see what cards you're adding in them. And we're definitely going to head over to our own affiliate link, TCG Player, and pick up some of these cards because Lord knows we need them to make some of these decks better.
Because we need to help out our local LGS. We need to help out ourselves, and we need to help out ourselves.
So yeah, post those lists, post those cards. Let us know because we don't know everything. But as we are playing fresh,
except about math, we do know everything about math.
Everything,
all
the variables,
calculus,
x squared plus y squared,
trigonometry,
these nuts,
geometry.
But Ken, let us know where we can get some fresh clothes.
Some fresh clothes. If you want to look fresh and dress fresh, you got to go to Into the AM. That's right, because we like to play fresh as well. And, you know, while you're there into the AM, you know, you playing these dirty, disgusting commanders and you dropping these nice combos. Make sure you got your swag type too, because remember, in space, they can't hear you scream.
But at least they can see your drip.
Amen. So thank you guys for joining us. Like and subscribe. But until next time,
stay safe out there.
Mm-hmm.